Get Some Fantasy Football Podcast, hosted by two-time Bundy champion Andrew Lovick and six-time Purgatory champion Matthew Shepard. I'm getting AJ Green from you this year. It's gonna happen.
It's not happening, man. I promise. Not this year. You're just a lazy-eyed bastard, man.
Hey, at least I've won the Bundy twice.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Fuck off. We are the unequivocal,
unmistakable,
decisive,
most conclusive podcast for this league of record. And do you know why, Andrew?
Because this podcast has more Bundys than the other guys. The news you deserve and the news you can trust. Fuck you, Brad and Stu. Our podcast is better. Let's get started. All right, League. It's your boy, Andrew, coming to you live from Rocky Patel Studios with co-host Matthew Shepard.
What's up, brother?
And we're missing a man today. We're doing this on our lunch break, trying to get it in for you guys before the weekend fully is here. But we got a good show for you guys.
Yeah, just crank right through it. We're gonna make it go pretty fast this week, guys. Just a little bit of a recap from last week. We had all even matchups in the games as far as the other podcasts and us. We picked the exact same teams to win, so they're still one game up on us, and that's all we got there. Let's move on.
Bradford's bag of bones and joints.
All right, injuries.
Tyreek Hill.
Back at practice, but they said this afternoon he will not play this week.
T.Y. Hilton.
He is back at practice. All signs point to him playing on Sunday.
Mike Williams.
Limited participant. He's probably going to play as well.
Devontae Adams.
Did not participate. Likely out this week.
AJ Green.
His prognosis keeps getting worse and worse. Likely out multiple weeks now, and they said he was going to be back by now at the beginning of the year.
Jarvis Landry.
Concussion protocol is not traveling with the team.
Deshaun Jackson.
He was officially ruled out.
Michael Gallup.
He is going to go.
Saquon Barkley.
Recovering a whole lot faster than they thought he would. Looks like he'll be back in probably the short side of that 6 to 8 weeks.
Devin Singletary.
Looks like he's probably going to play this week this Sunday.
Tevin Coleman.
He's looking good to be back in this week. Still some questions about how effective he'll be and how much time he'll get, but he should be back playing.
Marlon Mack.
He has not practiced all week this week, though he didn't practice much last week, and he still ended up playing. So we'll see what happens with that ankle.
James Conner.
They said today that he's likely to go.
LaShawn McCoy.
He's probably going to play this week, too. Damian Williams back as well, so there should be a little bit of a timeshare there.
Drew Brees.
Just threw this one on there because it looks like he's on pace and recovering. He should have a Week 10 return.
And that does it for our injury recap.
Yes, sir.
All right. Guru's trade grades. Well, the Guru isn't here, so I will have to try and do the best of my ability in his stead, which is a very fine line because no one can match that man. We miss you, bro. All right, looking at Sam's Jacket Room trade grades.
Let's see
what we've had so far. Matt's pulling it up right now. I know we had a couple trades here recently.
4 new waivers. Where are they at? Well, I know that you can go ahead and go with me and CoPro was one of the first ones. I traded him David Montgomery and Calvin Ridley. And I received T.Y. Hilton and Vance McDonald.
I don't know about the Vance McDonald because part of that trade because he's
going to play this week.
He's
probably there's a really good chance that he plays this week. I know that it looked worse, and we thought it was going to be an extended timeout. It's not that bad. They just really needed another tight end, so they went and traded for another guy. He's going to be back, if not this week, next week.
Next up, we have, I guess I'll give you a B. I don't know. Fuck it. Robert, let's see, we got Stu and Rodney. Stu got Robert Woods and gave up Deshaun Jackson and Matt Breida. I think this is a good trade for Rodney. I don't think Robert Woods kind of had a bad week. He'll be one of those guys that's gonna get some here and there and not. Deshaun Jackson, pretty consistent. Matt Breida, not sure.
Yeah, well, it remains to be seen what he's going to be when Coleman comes back. Yeah.
So I'd say that's a wash for them. Give them both a
yeah, nothing really sexy from either side. I mean, Robert Woods, he is the number 2, so I think it's both for me a B-. You traded some okay stuff for some okay stuff.
Yeah. Next we got Brad traded Rod, and Brad got Will Fuller back, and Rod got Jalen Samuels. I don't like this trade at all.
I don't either. I really think Rod, I don't know what you're doing with that one. Mostly because Jalen Samuels had one good week, but he's a gadget guy in that offense right now, and who knows how long that style of offense is going to last.
After everyone's they have film on those trick plays now, so I don't know if Jalen Samuels.
Yeah, I think they kind of took that as a chance to get a divisional win and get toward the top near Baltimore, try and catch up, and pull out some trickery. But I don't know how much we'll see of that beyond then. So I really think, of course, I'm not big on Fuller. He's a whack-a-mole, so. I don't know. Rod, I give you a C. Brad, I give you a B.
When we have Shep, you traded Brad. You got Devontae Freeman and Curtis Samuel, and you got rid of Marlon Mack and Deontay Johnson.
I know a lot of people weren't happy with or didn't think this was really fair. Was really good trade. There was twofold on this. One, I was trying to fix a bye week issue with my running backs, which don't drive and trade, because I thought I was fixing it, and then I made the trade, and then turns out I didn't fix my bye week mess, so it didn't help at all. But beyond that, Marlon Mack, I mean, Brad said it several times already. Of course, he's just going to be a plug and play every now and then for Brad, but he's been injured in every game he's played this year except for the first one. He's coming out at halftime almost every week. And if he doesn't have 15 points by then, he's probably not going to get it. So I was really nervous about him moving forward. Missing practice last week, this week. Devontae Freeman's snap count keeps going up.
We'll see what he can do.
We'll see what happens. It's a risk, but it was me getting away from him. And I kind of, we picked Curtis Samuel as our steal of the draft at the beginning of the season. He's getting the targets. He's just last week didn't turn them into receptions, but he's getting the targets, 7, 8, 9 targets a game.
It's still early on in the season, but as things stand right now, you have probably got a little bit more potential on that trade, and Brad really just helped himself out down the line.
Well, and I gave him Deontay Johnson. That was my drop player, and then he turned around and dropped Deontay Johnson, and I picked him back up. So I basically gave him Marlon Mack for Devontae Freeman and Curtis Samuel. Because I ended up with the other guy back. So, I mean...
B's. Both B's.
Yeah, I mean, if Mac stays healthy, then Brad wins that trade.
Yeah, I agree. But right now, as of right now, as it stands right now with his health, B's.
Cool.
All right.
Next up we've got Roger Goodell's Highway to Hell. And all we got right now is a couple of things real quick. Rumor has it Stephon Diggs wants a trade. He's not happy with the way old Cuzzy Kirks is flinging the ball.
Man, I think this whole precedent of yeah, okay, I get that you're good. I get that your quarterback's having a down year or he's sucking right now, but I mean, Archie Manning was one of the best quarterbacks ever, and he had played on one of the worst teams back in his day, the New Orleans Saints, and he fucking just played, and he kept getting tackled and hit, and I don't know, the guy really didn't want to be there, but he didn't come out and be like, oh well, I want to be traded.
Yeah, I think it's kind of it's big headed, and it's I don't agree with it. I don't like it, and this is one of those things we talked about last week. It just kind of piling on where we've got a CBA coming up at the end of this year. They've got to come to an agreement And this is one of those things that potentially stands to be heavy on the table. Public requests and things, though Diggs hasn't come out and publicly said it, but things of this nature demanding a trade
midway through the season, and also too, it's like, you know what? I don't like the way that things are going with this organization. I want to play somewhere else. I demand a trade. Well, how about just don't play football?
Yeah, I mean, I know that teams.
I don't care. There's another guy right behind you who's like dying to make it into the NFL or dying to play.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you're there. You do it respectfully. Don't get if you don't want to be somewhere, just say, hey man, talk to your GM. Do it privately. All this stuff getting out
in the
and
public,
and
ESPN reporting it, breaking news, shit like that. I don't know. I think it sets a bad precedent with the league and teams. So it shows these young guys who are in college who might be a stud guy. All of a sudden Christian McCaffrey's unhappy. Well, obviously he's a fucking star. Why doesn't he just say, you know what, I don't want to be on the Panthers anymore. I want to be on the Patriots. I don't know. It's just that's kind of the cool thing about the NFL is the teams don't get to like do a redraft like we do every year,
Right.
And they have to draft like everyone else, and either you draft well or you don't, or guys pan out or you don't. I mean, fuck Tom Brady, 6th round pick, developed into probably arguably the best quarterback in the NFL for our generation. So, I mean, it's stuff like that makes the NFL awesome. But when you start doing this shit, it kind of ruins it, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I
don't want the Golden State Warriors.
Exactly.
In the NFL.
We kind of have them. They're called the New England Patriots.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm just saying.
But what I'm saying though.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, all this, stockpiling, and taking all the picking up Antonio Brown, and obviously that didn't go well for him, but guys willing to cause a few problems and get kicked out of a place or get let go or get traded, it's kind of taking the fun out of the NFL a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with the CBA. So
yeah. So that's all for Goodell's Highway to Hell.
Next up, we got matchup predictions with Dirty Mike and the boys.
Rub your dicks on your cars, you run away.
All right, so let's start off with Stu and Copro. We chose Copro over Stu.
Yeah, and they did as well, and we got a little more time than I thought we would, so we can break down these matchups a little more.
That's what I'm all about, baby, breaking down the matchups.
Let's see here. Stu versus Copro, and all these picks were made prior to the games last night, and we did post them up in the spreadsheet that Google spreadsheet or Google Sheets that they have access to.
As much as Cincinnati sucks, I'm going Patrick Mahomes over Kyler Murray. That's just, I can't go against Patrick Mahomes.
And Indy's defense hadn't been all that great. It's been pretty good. Their run defense has been all right, but Pat's going to fling the ball all over the place.
I think, in my opinion, is Gordon's going to feast. He's going to come back and he's going to destroy Denver. It's a rivalry game. He's going to run all over them, and especially with Bradley Chubb out with an injury.
I think he's going to have a good game, but I don't think he's going to have a better game against the not so good New York Giants defense, against a run-heavy Minnesota offense where Dalvin Cook has been feasting all year long.
That's true. He has.
Gallman and David Montgomery.
We call that a wash.
Yeah, we called that one a wash. Certainly Michael Thomas over Robert Woods, and it's looking like we made the right call there, too.
Julian Edelman over Tyler Boyd.
I wouldn't touch anything in the Cincinnati offense right now, except for maybe Joe Mixon, because he's getting the touches. Yep. That's really the only thing I would consider. If and when A.J. Green comes back, I would think about having him, but that's it.
Disley over Andrews.
Yeah, I think that one, Disley didn't quite have as much as he has over a couple of weeks, so Andrews could definitely rival, maybe even beat that. Thielen and DJ Moore. Thielen takes that one easy.
Obviously, Copro doesn't have a kicker in there yet. Hopefully
no kicker in there. He's got projected at 118 with Stu projected at 102. 22% chance to win, Stu. Yeah. looks like we made the right choice
I think
there.
Khalil Mack's going to feast against Oakland.
Yeah.
Little revenge game there.
I definitely agree. Definitely. Next up, we have Brad and Rod. And I don't think there was any question on this one. We were going Brad. Rod just doesn't have the team. I don't even think we need to break this one down too much.
No, not really. But Rod might be all right if Brad does what he did last week. Besides putting up a fucking 40 burger against me with.
Well,
Nick
Chubb's not going to have that kind of game
not
against the good San Francisco run D.
Which I was gonna pick up and start them, and Dixon beat me to it. And shit, I wish I would have done it because I have no points with Seattle against your brother.
One point from the Seattle defense there. Brad's got a solid starting lineup this week. So
all right, next up we had you versus Day. We chose you. And
we were borderline on this one.
Yeah,
and I feel like prior to last night, it was a lot closer. Goff had a really good night.
He did 22.9,
and then and he had one more person go.
The kicker.
Zerline, who
got 12 points.
Does what Greg the Leg does. Luckily, he missed that kick at the end.
Yeah.
That had added another 5 points for a day there. So,
where we really kind of broke it down was, I think the factor is if Devontae Adams is going to play, we would have chosen Day, but he's listed as doubtful now, and I don't think he's practicing. I don't know. I don't think he's going to go. Ty will go. Most likely he's questionable, but I feel like he's going to play. So
he practiced the last 2 days in a row. I mean, it's still up in the air, but all signs right now are pointing to him playing.
I will say that I'm not too worried about your quarterback matchup because Tom's playing against Washington.
Yeah, I definitely think he's gonna.
They're gonna probably pull him.
Put
in
up
the third
more
quarter.
than the 22 that Goff put up. Really hope for a 30 burger out of him to kind of give me that extra fluff back that I lost to Goff having a good game. But Fournette's gonna have a great game. Freeman should have a pretty good game. Frank Gore's gonna be a little down with Devin Singletary coming back and playing. So. A little late breaking news we just saw, though, that Juju is questionable. It says probable here, but I just got an update saying Juju is questionable to play this week, which means that I could have to bench him in place of Curtis Samuel, maybe Nelson Aguilar. Without Deshaun Jackson, Aguilar looks like a good
I just
option.
saw an update come across that Josh Allen is going to be out, or he's questionable.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, Josh Allen is questionable for Sunday.
But yeah, so far the matchup doesn't look like it's going in my favor, but I think everything balances out, especially when he finally pulls Devontae Adams out. He's going to end up probably starting Alshon Jeffrey, which will get him some points, but not quite the equivalent. I still think at this point that I'm going to have the opportunity to pull it out. So, next, Adam versus Lovick.
I didn't vote on this one.
We chose Lovick, and on the last one they chose Day, and we chose me. So that's a chance to make up a game. On this one, they chose Adam, and we chose you. We kind of were leaning a little bit on the Tyreek Hill news on him practicing all week, hoping that he was going to be able to go. Looked like it was possible, and now they are saying he is out. He is not going to play. So I think that we may have picked this one wrong. We'll see what happens. Russell Wilson. I think P. Riv's going to have a bigger game than they're projecting against the Chargers. I think this one ends up being close in the long run.
It's Danny Woodhead 2.0. I mean, I traded Danny Woodhead away. Next game I played him, and he fucking put up like a 30 burger on me. Russell Wilson did the same thing. So the moral of the story is, if you're going to trade someone, make sure you don't face them next week.
Yeah, I completely agree. Or don't drop your tight end like old Greg and let the other guy pick him up so that he can play against you and score 20 points.
Yeah, hopefully I get my first dub.
I still think he got a really good shot. I think Hollywood's due for a big game. Pittsburgh's secondary hadn't been all that good. Sammy Watkins is due for another big game.
Le'Veon Bell's going to have another one because Sam Darnold's not
He'll get the usage. We'll see what happens. Philly's got a really good run D, so I'm not certain about that. Cortland Sutton seems like a good choice every week right now. Whoever would drop him might not be so smart.
And with Devontae Adams out, I'm hoping Jimmy Graham gets himself a touchdown or two.
Yeah. He definitely sees more. How much of that goes to Graham versus Valdez-Scantling and Geronimo Allison? But he sees more opportunity without Devontae Adams there, especially as they approach the red zone because he's such a big target.
Good play. All right, next up, Mo and Dixon. Sorry, Dixon, I don't think there's much of a question on this one. The projections have you guys pretty close, but with the way most teams been, I will say that Eckler's going to take a drop.
And he's going to keep it. Yeah, Eckler projected at 14.65.
I don't know if he's going to get that.
I don't. I think this is going to go at least week one with Gordon being back, running back by committee. They're going to go and give him some time in, but they're not going to just dedicate everything to Eckler like they have been. They've already said Gordon is their number one when they come back. I think it's a 50-50 split, and whoever's more productive, we'll see.
Yeah.
Possibly an extra.
Diggs. The news on Diggs, they're not playing him, are they? They're not, or they're not sure.
They're unsure if he's going to play this week, so we're not certain.
It's a sweet matchup against the Giants. That would be honestly, if he plays, that's Dixon's best chance of possibly knocking Mo off. However, I just don't know.
Yeah, if he doesn't, he's got to swap him for Brown. I don't think Tyrell Williams is going to play. Didn't see the practice field again on Friday. He's truly questionable. So we'll keep an eye. Luckily, it's an early game for the Oakland, so we'll see what happens. But he's questionable. In that case, he's got John Brown and Marquise Valdez-Scantling to take their place.
Yeah,
I just don't know.
But Mo's just been on some lucky-ass kick where this fucking guy's been getting at least a 30-burger or 40-burger out of his guys every single week. So we'll see if that streak continues. If it does...
He's got the New England defense against Washington.
Yeah,
and,
that's going to be like a 40-burger right there.
Out of a defense, it's insane. And he gets to see how Golden Tate does coming back for his first week while he's riding the bench. So...
Mo's sitting pretty.
Mo. I still think Mo's going to take this one. And our last game, it was Vince versus Sam. This was initially a pretty close matchup, but we went Chris Carson over Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley got more points than I think either of us thought. But once again, shining through from that Rams offense is Cooper Kupp. And between him and Chris Carson. Already sitting at 47 points, projected as a juggernaut for the week.
Yeah, I think Sam takes it. Look, Alvin Kamara, he had a rough week last week, but they're going to continue to find ways to get him involved in the offense. He's a stud. There's no doubt about it. His Josh Gordon against the Washington Redskins. Yeah, I'll take that all day.
I think Noah Fant going up against the Chargers defense. That secondary's not been great. Miami found a way to get some yards on him and score a touchdown.
Yeah, they did.
Through the air. So I think Noah Fant stands a good chance at having a pretty decent game because we all know that quarterback over there. He's not Flacco. He's not on the Ravens anymore, so I don't care too much about him. He loves his tight ends. We know that. So I think Fant will have a pretty good game. I was actually going to pick Fant up and play him in case Advanced Dance doesn't play. And guess what?
He beat you to
Sam beat me to it. So
sure
is what
did.
it is. But, going Sam over Vince this week. So that gives us 2 picks separate from what the other guys did. If we can pick both of them, then we gain a game. If we get one, they get one, then we're stay even. And if they get both of them,
we're down by 3.
We're going down. Bad deal.
Bad deal.
That's all right. Plenty of time left in the season to make up the deficit if we get one. I think they're going to continue to pick against me. They're going to continue to pick against you. I think that's
probably a safe bet.
It is, but you and I are willing to take those risks on our own teams, and either it'll play out in our favor or it'll play out in theirs. we'll see what happens.
Yeah, may the fantasy gods be good to your teams and go fuck yourselves, all of you.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that does it for the Get Some Fantasy Football podcast. And remember, boys,
Giddy on up, giddy on out.